because at the end of Hamlet, we were thinking the only people that are left are Horatio, pretty much, and then Fortinbras walks in. So we're kind of going off the idea of Horatio living, and now he's come back as a very old man. And I'm an interviewer, and he's actually on his deathbed, and he's telling us the real story of how Hamlet actually happened. So this is titled Horatio's Soliloquy. We come to you today with breaking news. This man beside me is known as Hamlet's beloved friend, Horatio. He's now on his deathbed and has some astonishing news to tell us about how the story of Hamlet really happened.
Ah, so I see you've heard the story of Hamlet. It's a classic, no? But you think it was written by a man, oh, what's his name? Shakespeare. Bah! What naive people. Do you not remember at the end of the play? But of course you do. The bodies scattered all over the ground, and I, Horatio, willing to die for my dear friend Hamlet. But he would not let me take a sip of his poison. Instead, he asked me to pass on the story, and I did. Shakespeare just happened to hear me telling the story firsthand, and then he changed some things around and made me into some faithful puppy to Hamlet. Well, it's about time you heard the story correctly.
So there's a different story of Hamlet? Please do tell.
First of all, I did not come from unknown origins. My family was rich, powerful, and we lived in Norway.
Wait a minute, that's where Fortinbras was from.
Here's the secret dear old William left out. I was a spy.
Oh no.
Befriending Hamlet was my way of getting into the Danish court and spying on King Claudius. No, I never actually saw King Hamlet's ghost. I was just trying to get Hamlet riled up to kill King Claudius.
So what was Hamlet like?
Let me settle this whole debate over whether Hamlet was crazy or not. He was. I've never met a more loony person in my life. He was always rambling on whether to be or not to be, and all sorts of other weird things. But I could never get that guy to shut up. I put some strange poison in his drink to try to quiet him down, but instead they backfired and made him even more insane. Shakespeare portrayed me as an observer to the story, but I wasn't all logical and trustworthy. Yet, I was the one who riled him up in the first place, as Fortinbras told me to create chaos.
What?
Yes. Trustworthy? Ha! That's a joke if I ever heard one. In the play, it turns out I was the best actor of them all.
So, let me get this straight. You're really a spy for Fortinbras, sent in to create chaos in the Danish court. How did you do it?
I was in almost every major scene. The ghost sighting, Ophelia going mad, and that was a pity. She was a looker, not unlike yourself.
I thank you.
And, I was hoping to take her back to Norway with me, but that's another story. She had to go crazy, and Hamlet, he talked to Yorick, but, who doesn't talk to skulls they find in the ground? Hamlet, like I said, is crazy. And of course, the final scene. Boy, that scene was really beautiful. Never did I plan for it to go so wonderfully. All I did was spread some rumors around court, made Hamlet go crazy, and bada bing. Everyone's trying to kill one another. I let Fortinbras know in advance that Denmark was ready for takeover, but the timing was just spectacular. Gertrude drinks from a poisoned cup and dies. Hamlet and Laertes stab each other with a poisoned sword. Then Hamlet gets his revenge by killing Claudius. I fake trying to kill myself, and Hamlet stops me and asks me to pass on the story. And don't worry, buddy. I certainly will. I even say to him, I'm more antique than Roman than a Dane. Or so it goes, referring to Brutus and Cassius, co-conspirators in Caesar's death, just as I help bring death to Hamlet. Then, with bodies littering the ground and walks Fortinbras to claim it all. He congratulates me and awards me a fancy title, a ton of land, and I am happy. See, Hamlet isn't a tragedy after all.
Well, there you have it, folks. You just heard the real story of Hamlet, straight from Horatio's mouth. I'll let you decide what you want to believe. This is Caitlin Kenning, signing off for evening.